While you're scrolling social media and wondering why you're still broke, there are 12 specific assets making people rich, even while they sleep. And here's the shocking truth. Most people will never discover these because they're too busy chasing the wrong financial advice on TikTok. I'm about to reveal the exact same wealth-building assets that turned ordinary people into millionaires, and some into billionaires. But here's the catch. By the end of this video, you'll realize you've been playing the wealth game all wrong. And if you don't start implementing at least 3 of these assets in the next 90 days, you'll still be watching get-rich-quick videos 5 years from now while others are living off passive income. So if you're serious about building real wealth and not just dreaming about it, stay locked in because what I'm about to share could literally change your financial future forever. Before we dive into these 12 game-changing assets, let me hit you with a reality check that most financial gurus won't tell you. The difference between the wealthy and everyone else isn't luck, inheritance, or some secret handshake. It's understanding one fundamental principle that separates the rich from the broke. Assets put money in your pocket. Liabilities take money out of your pocket. It sounds simple, but 95% of people get this backwards. They think their car is an asset, their house is an asset, their expensive watch is an asset. Wrong. If it's not generating income, it's bleeding you dry. The wealthy obsess over acquiring assets that work 24/7, generating money while they sleep, travel, or spend time with family. That's the difference. While most people are trading hours for dollars, millionaires have money working for them around the clock. Now let's break down the 12 assets that are making people rich in 2025. Asset number 1, Strategic Cash Reserves, the Opportunity Fund. I know what you're thinking. Cash? That's not sexy. That's not crypto. That's not stocks. But here's why billionaires like Warren Buffett keep massive cash reserves and why Apple sits on over $150 billion in cash. Cash isn't just money sitting in a bank account earning pathetic interest. Strategic cash reserves are your opportunity fund, your weapon for wealth building. Here's the mindset shift. Cash gives you the power to act when others can't. Think about 2008, 2020, or any market crash. While everyone else was panicking and selling, the wealthy were buying assets at massive discounts because they had cash ready. Real estate, stocks, businesses, everything went on sale, but only those with cash could take advantage. But here's the advanced play most people miss. Cash gives you access to deals that credit can't touch. Try buying a distressed property with a credit card. Try investing in a private business opportunity with a loan. It doesn't work that way. Smart, wealthy individuals also use cash for peer-to-peer lending, earning 7 to 15% returns, while banks pay you less than 1%. But remember, higher returns mean higher risk. Never invest money you can't afford to lose. The rule: keep 6 to 12 months of expenses in emergency savings, then build your opportunity fund. When the next market correction hits, and it will, you'll be ready to buy while others are selling. Asset number 2, real estate, the wealth multiplication machine. Real estate isn't just about buying property and hoping it goes up in value. The ultra-wealthy use real estate as a wealth multiplication machine through 2 powerful wealth-building mechanisms. First, cash flow. Every month, tenants pay you rent. That rent covers your mortgage, taxes, insurance, and hopefully puts money in your pocket. This is passive income, money working for you while you sleep. But here's where most people get it wrong. They buy one property and call themselves real estate investors. The wealthy think differently. They use something called the BRRRR method: buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. Here's how it works. Buy a distressed property below market value. Rehab it to increase its value. Rent it out for positive cash flow. Refinance to pull out your initial investment. Then repeat the process with the same money. Second, appreciation. As population grows and land becomes scarcer, property values increase. But the wealthy don't just wait for natural appreciation. They force appreciation through improvements, better management, and strategic positioning. The different types of real estate assets include residential properties, single-family homes, duplexes, apartment buildings, commercial properties, office buildings, retail spaces, warehouses, industrial properties, manufacturing facilities, distribution centers, raw land, development opportunities, agricultural land. But here's the crucial distinction. The house you live in is not an asset. It's a liability. It costs you money every month and doesn't put a penny in your pocket. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. The wealthy buy assets first, then use the cash flow from those assets to pay for their lifestyle expenses, including their primary residence. Asset number 3, government and corporate bonds, the stability play. While bonds might seem boring compared to crypto or meme stocks, they serve a critical role in wealth preservation and steady income generation. When governments or corporations need money, they issue bonds, essentially IOUs that pay you interest over time. The government promises to pay you back your principal plus interest by a specific date. Here's why the wealthy love bonds: predictability. While stocks can crash 50% overnight, quality bonds provide steady, reliable income. U.S. Treasury bonds are backed by the full faith and credit of the U.S. government, arguably the safest investment on the planet. In 2025, with interest rates still elevated, bonds are paying significantly more than they did in the past decade. 5% annual returns from government bonds aren't exciting, but they're consistent and safe. The wealthy use bonds for capital preservation during market volatility, steady income streams in retirement, diversification from stock market risk, liquidity when opportunities arise. You can buy bonds directly from the Treasury Department through treasurydirect.gov or through any major brokerage firm. The key is matching bond maturities to your financial goals. Asset number 4, individual stocks, ownership in money-making machines. Despite what social media traders want you to believe, buying individual stocks isn't complicated gambling. It's purchasing ownership in profitable businesses. When you buy Apple stock, you own a piece of a company generating over $380 billion in annual revenue. When you buy Microsoft stock, you're partnering with a business that dominates cloud computing and software. But here's the reality check. Most people approach stocks completely wrong. They buy based on tips, trends, or what's hot on Reddit. The wealthy buy stocks like they're purchasing entire businesses, because that's exactly what they're doing. Warren Buffett's approach: buy wonderful companies at fair prices and hold them for decades. He's owned Coca-Cola stock since 1988, and it's returned over 2,000%. The key principles for stock investing: invest in companies you understand. Focus on businesses with competitive advantages. Think long-term, years, not months. Reinvest dividends for compound growth. Never invest money you need in the next 5 years. Don't try to time the market or pick the next Tesla. Focus on proven, profitable companies with strong management and growing markets. Asset number 5, index funds and ETFs, the millionaire maker. If individual stock picking feels overwhelming, index funds are your secret weapon. They're literally the closest thing to a guaranteed path to millionaire status that exists in investing. An index fund owns hundreds or thousands of stocks, giving you instant diversification. Instead of betting on one company, you're betting on the entire economy. And historically, that's been a winning bet. The S&P 500, which tracks the 500 largest U.S. companies, has averaged nearly 10% annual returns over the past 90 years. That includes the Great Depression, World War II, multiple recessions, and every crisis you can imagine. Here's the math that will blow your mind. If you invest $500 per month in an S&P 500 index fund, starting at age 25, assuming historical 10% returns, you'll have over $1.3 million by age 65. That's the power of compound interest and consistent investing. The top index funds to consider: Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, VOO, Fidelity Zero Large Cap Index, FZRX, Schwab S&P 500 Index Fund, SWPPX, iShares Core S&P 500 ETF, IVV. The beautiful thing about index funds: they automatically remove underperforming companies and add growing companies. You get the best of American capitalism without having to pick individual winners. Asset number 6, income-producing equipment, tools that pay you. Here's where most people get confused about assets versus liabilities. Your car sitting in the driveway is a liability. It's losing value and costing you money. But that same car becomes an asset if you use it to drive for Uber and generate income. Equipment becomes an asset when it directly contributes to your income generation. For a photographer, professional cameras are assets. For a contractor, tools and trucks are assets. For a content creator, computers and editing software are assets. But here's the key distinction. The equipment must generate more money than it costs to own and operate. That expensive laptop you bought for work but use primarily for Netflix? That's a liability disguised as a business expense. Smart entrepreneurs focus on equipment that increases their earning capacity, improves their efficiency, creates multiple income streams, appreciates or holds value over time. Examples of income-producing equipment: rental property tools and maintenance equipment, professional-grade cameras for photography business, commercial kitchen equipment for catering, construction equipment for contracting business, high-end computers for software development. The rule: never buy equipment until you've validated that it will generate positive ROI. Calculate exactly how much additional income it will create and how long it will take to pay for itself. Asset number 7, intellectual property. Patents, innovation that pays forever. Patents represent one of the most powerful wealth-building assets because they create legal monopolies. When you patent an invention, you get exclusive rights to profit from it for up to 20 years. The beauty of patents: once granted, companies must pay you to use your invention. If they use it without permission, you can sue them for massive damages. Consider these patent success stories. The Slinky toy has generated over $3 billion in sales. Scott Stillinger's Koosh ball sold to Hasbro for $100 million. The annoying big mouth Billy Bassfish was worth over $100 million. Patents aren't just for physical inventions. Software patents, business method patents, and even design patents can be incredibly valuable. Here's what most people don't realize. You don't need to be a brilliant inventor. Many successful patents solve simple, everyday problems. The key is identifying problems people are willing to pay to solve. The patent process. Document your invention thoroughly. Conduct a patent search to ensure uniqueness. File a provisional patent application. Cheaper, faster. Develop and test your invention. File a full patent application within 1 year. Market and license your patent to companies. Remember, patents are only valuable if there's a market for your invention. Focus on solving real problems that affect lots of people. Asset number 8. Trademarks and brand assets. Words worth millions. While patents protect inventions, trademarks protect brand elements. Names, logos, slogans, and even sounds. And sometimes these simple phrases can be worth more than entire companies. The most famous example: Michael Buffer trademarked "Let's Get Ready to Rumble" in 1992. That 5-word phrase has generated over $400 million in licensing fees. Every time it's used commercially, movies, TV shows, video games, Michael gets paid. But trademarks aren't just for catchphrases. They protect company names and logos, product names and packaging, advertising slogans, even colors like Tiffany blue. The key to trademark wealth: create something memorable that businesses want to license. This could be a clever phrase for a specific industry, a distinctive logo design, a memorable character or mascot, a unique product name. The process is simpler than patents. Create your trademark. Use it in commerce. File with the USPTO. Maintain and protect your rights. License to others for profit. Pro tip: trademark protection varies by country. If you create something valuable, file internationally to maximize your licensing opportunities. Asset number 9. Digital assets and content. Create once, sell forever. This is where the new economy shines. Digital assets can be created once and sold infinitely with virtually no additional cost per sale. Think about it. Write an ebook once, sell it thousands of times. Create an online course once, sell it to students worldwide. Record a song once, earn royalties forever. The most successful digital assets: online courses and training programs, books and digital guides, software and mobile apps, stock photography and graphics, music and audio content, YouTube channels, and podcasts. Here's why digital assets are so powerful. Scalability. Traditional businesses are limited by physical constraints. You can only serve so many customers at once. Digital products can serve unlimited customers simultaneously. Real success stories. Mariah Carey earns $500,000 plus annually from All I Want for Christmas Is You. Psy made over $10 million from Gangnam Style. Many online course creators earn 7 figures from single courses. The key to digital asset success. Solve a specific problem for a specific audience. Create high-quality, valuable content. Build an audience before you sell. Use multiple platforms for distribution. Reinvest profits into creating more assets. Start with your existing knowledge and skills. What do you know that others would pay to learn? Asset number 10. Royalties and licensing, passive income streams. Royalties are payments you receive for the ongoing use of your intellectual property. Unlike one-time sales, royalties provide recurring income for years or even decades. The most common royalty streams: book publishing royalties, music streaming and radio royalties, movie and TV show royalties, software licensing fees, patent licensing fees, trademark licensing fees. Here's the power of royalties. They compound over time. A successful book doesn't just earn money once, it earns money every time it's sold, translated, adapted, or licensed. A cast of Friends still earns $10 to $20 million each per year from syndication royalties decades after the show ended. That's the power of creating something with lasting value. Modern royalty opportunities. Kindle Direct Publishing for book royalties. Spotify and Apple Music for music royalties, stock footage and photography royalties. Software as a service, SaaS licensing. YouTube ad revenue sharing affiliate marketing commissions. The key is creating content or products that provide ongoing value. Focus on evergreen topics that won't become outdated quickly. Asset number 11. People and human capital, your most valuable asset. This might surprise you, but people are often the most valuable assets in any wealth-building strategy. The right team can multiply your efforts exponentially. Steve Jobs understood this. When he returned to Apple, he didn't just fix products. He assembled a team of exceptional people who transformed Apple into the world's most valuable company. Human capital assets include key employees who drive revenue, skilled contractors and freelancers, business partners and co-founders, mentors and advisors, professional networks and relationships. But here's the advanced strategy. You can become someone else's valuable human capital asset. Position yourself as indispensable, and companies will pay premium prices for your skills. How to build your human capital value. Develop rare, valuable skills. Build a strong professional network. Create systems and processes others can't easily replicate. Document your knowledge and methods. Train others to multiply your impact. Remember, the goal isn't to make yourself irreplaceable, that limits your growth, but to make yourself highly valuable and in demand. Asset number 12. Alternative investments, the diversification play. While traditional assets form the foundation of wealth, alternative investments can supercharge your returns and provide diversification beyond stocks and bonds. Alternative assets include commodities, gold, silver, oil, agricultural products, collectibles, art, vintage cars, rare books, wine, cryptocurrencies and digital assets, private equity and venture capital REITs, real estate investment trusts, peer-to-peer lending platforms. Here's why the ultra-wealthy love alternatives. They often move independently of stock and bond markets, providing protection during market crashes. Art has outperformed the S&P 500 over the past 20 years. Vintage cars, rare watches, and collectibles have generated massive returns for knowledgeable investors. But, and this is crucial, never invest in alternatives you don't understand. These markets require specialized knowledge and often have limited liquidity. Start with alternatives that match your interests and expertise. Love cars? Research vintage automobile investments? Interested in technology? Explore cryptocurrency carefully. Appreciate art. Learn about art market fundamentals. Understand real estate? Consider REITs or crowdfunded deals. The key rule: alternatives should be a small percentage of your portfolio until you develop deep expertise. Now for the advanced wealth-building strategy they don't teach in business school: Time, money, time arbitrage. Here's how it works. You start by trading your time for money. But instead of spending that money on liabilities, you use it to buy other people's time. This creates a multiplier effect that can exponentially grow your wealth. Let's say you're a freelance graphic designer earning $50 per hour. Initially, you're limited by your own time, 40 hours per week maximum. But once you've built up some capital, you hire another designer at $30 per hour and charge clients $45 per hour for their work. You keep the $15 difference. Now you're earning money from your own work and from managing others. As you scale, you might hire 5 designers, then 10, then 50. Your income is no longer limited by your personal time. This is the fundamental principle behind every successful business. Identify an opportunity to create value. Trade your time to build that opportunity. Use profits to hire others to multiply your efforts. Focus on management and growth rather than production. The wealthy understand this arbitrage opportunity and build businesses around it. They're not necessarily smarter or more talented. They just understand how to leverage other people's time and efforts. Action steps. Your wealth-building blueprint. If you've made it this far, you're already ahead of 90% of people who start wealth-building videos but never finish them. But watching is only 10% of the battle. Implementation is everything. Here's your action plan for the next 90 days. Week 1-2, Financial Foundation. Calculate your exact net worth, assets minus liabilities. Build or strengthen your emergency fund. Open investment accounts if you don't have them. Week 3-4, start your investment engine. Begin automatic investing in index funds. Research 3 to 5 individual stocks and companies you understand. Set up automatic transfers to investment accounts. Week 5-8, explore income generation. Identify skills you can monetize immediately. Research real estate opportunities in your area. Develop ideas for digital products or services. Week 9-12, build for the future. Research intellectual property opportunities. Network with successful people in your field. Create your first piece of digital content. The key is starting now, not waiting for perfect conditions. The wealthy didn't become wealthy by planning. They became wealthy by acting. Final thoughts, your millionaire roadmap. Here's the truth most financial gurus won't tell you. Building wealth isn't about finding the secret investment or the next big thing. It's about consistently applying proven principles over time. The 12 assets I've shared aren't get-rich-quick schemes. They're get-rich-for-sure strategies that have worked for decades and will continue working for decades to come. But here's what separates those who build generational wealth from those who stay stuck. Action. You can know everything about these assets, but if you don't start acquiring them, you'll be in the same financial position 5 years from now. The wealthy aren't wealthy because they're smarter than you. They're wealthy because they understand these principles and, more importantly, they act on them consistently. Your assignment? Pick 3 assets from this list and take 1 concrete action toward acquiring each one in the next 7 days. Not next month, not when you have more money, not when conditions are perfect. Now. Because while you're waiting for the perfect moment, others are building wealth with the information you just received. The roadmap is clear. The assets are proven. The only question remaining is, will you take action? Or will you be watching another How to Get Rich video next year? Choice is yours. Choose wisely. If this video provided value and opened your eyes to real wealth-building strategies, smash that like button and subscribe to the Millionaire Roadmap. We're building a community of action takers who are serious about financial freedom, and I want you to be part of it. Drop a comment below telling me which asset you're going to focus on first. I read every comment and love seeing your progress. And remember, your future millionaire self is counting on the decisions you make today. Don't let them down. Until next time, keep building that wealth, and I'll see you on the Millionaire Roadmap.